let's take a look at an intro to modeling. So I want to make sure that I'm in the modeling menu set, and then I'm going to go to create Polygon Primitives Cube. And it's important to note that I'm in Polygon Primitives and not one of these other ones. So I'm going to start with a cube. Notice that also that interactive creation is turned off. That way, if I hit a cube, it's going to appear at the center of the screen. Excellent. Now I could go to my move, rotate, or scale, but in this case, I'm going to go to my move. I'm going to move it up so it's above the grid. And then I'm going to go to my scale it larger so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. I'm going to come up here, move this up, and that's going to be my start. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to demonstrate how to model using Extrude, and I'm going to make a very simplified duck character. Okay. And once again, to move around in the viewport, holding down Alt, and then a combination of Alt with left, middle, and right mouse button, you should be able to kind of move anywhere that you need to move. That might take a little bit of practice to get familiar with that, but that's going to be essential that you're comfortable moving around in this workspace. Okay. Now, to get started here, I'm going to right-click over the model and click Face. Right-click and hold, and then go down to Face. And now I can select any of these faces, okay? And I'm going to select this face right here, and I'm going to go to Edit Mesh Extrude. Edit Mesh Extrude. And when that happens, I can see that now I can pull this out, and it actually kind of grew my shape, okay? And now I can select up here, and I can go to Edit Mesh Extrude, and once again, it grows my shape again, like this. You'll notice that this manipulator also has scale handles built into it as well. So I can kind of go like that, and I can move it like this. And what I'm doing is I'm starting to design the duck. Okay, I can think of this as kind of its belly area, its chest, and this is going to be its neck area. And I need to come up here for the head. So I'll go to Edit Mesh, Extrude, and then I want to pull this up like that. Okay, awesome. Now I'm going to select on this part, and you'll notice that I have to keep going here to Edit Mesh Extrude. Now, if I keep extruding, a shortcut is G as in goat. And if I press G, it's going to remember the last tool that I used, which is Extrude. And now I could kind of just alter this like this. I'm just using kind of these scales and the arrows. And then I'm going to hit G again for extrude. And then I always pull out with a blue arrow. There we go. So that's kind of like the beak of the duck, or the bill. And now if I come back here, I'm just going to press G again. And then I'm going to bring this out, and then I'm going to kind of scale this like this. Okay, great. So this is actually a good starting point of the duck. And I feel like sometimes you need to see this being done to the end so you can kind of get a sense of what's happening. It's kind of hard to visualize what's happening when I'm just starting from nothing. Okay, good. So once I'm done with the extrude, I can right click and go to object mode. And now I'm back to my just the original shape. Now the next tool that I want to introduce is the Insert Edge Loop tool. So under Mesh Tools, Insert Edge Loop. Now if I click and then hold, you can see that I can click on like a vertical line, and then it'll split it horizontally. And when I let up, now it's split it around there. So now I could take that edge, and you can see that I could kind of scale it out that way. And I could also scale it this way to make it feel like a little bit more rounded at the base. So if I need kind of more detail someplace, I could do that. So now I could put an edge loop in here. And now maybe I go to my scale and scale uniformly from the center, and I can bring that in like that. And you can see how it starts to feel like I'm kind of shaping this a little bit more. For example, like on the back, if I want this to kind of come up a little bit, it's totally flat now. I don't have enough information. So I can go to insert edge loop, put that in. And now if I wanted maybe the bottom to stay flat and I only wanted this to come up, I could grab this edge and I could pull it up like that. Okay, great. And maybe I want one down the center of him, okay? And this one, let's say I want down the exact center. So instead of just going to insert edge loop, if I go to insert edge loop options, now these options will appear and I could say multiple edge loops. And if I choose one, now when I click, you can see that I can't move it. It's forcing it to be right in the center, okay? And I could, if I set that to like 8, you can see what that would do. Obviously I don't want that now. But normally it's set to relative distance from edge. But in this case, because I wanted it in the direct center, I just put it to multiple and set it to 1. Now, if I want to select this edge loop, I could select one edge, shift, double click on the edge, and you can see it selects the entire ring. And now if I try scaling it, that's what it looks like. I kind of like the fact that it brought that beak up, but I think that I'm just going to select a few of these edges, kind of one at a time, and just kind of pull that up. I kind of like this idea of bringing the beak up like that. And maybe I'll bring this out. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to make the duck look a little bit more rounded than it was before. And yeah, it is still a little boxy, and that's okay. I feel like I want to leave it kind of boxy for now. Okay, maybe I want to round out the back of the head a little bit. So notice that the insert edge loop has an icon like this, and when I use the insert edge loop, this is where the last tool that I use location, so I could click on that and now I could easily grab that insert edge loop again, and I can see that I have it set to relative distance, so now I can just click and now it creates a loop. And also that loop goes all the way around the model. That's okay. I need it to go all the way around, and I'll explain about that later. And now I just did shift select and I selected both of those, and now I can kind of move that out as well. Maybe I grab this and I could kind of round the head out a little bit like that. Okay, great. The other thing, if I right click and go to object mode, if I press 3 on the keyboard, it's going to smooth it out, and you can see it looks significantly better. But I'm going to press 1 and I'm going to leave it like this for now. Okay, so excellent job using the extrude and the insert edge loop. On the next lesson, we're going to continue from this character and kind of build off these concepts.